All right, here we are. We're coming into game time about 5 hours away. There's the old playoff shirt, the first ever playoffs, 2014. Ohio State won that. Got my Ohio State blanket up there. Got Archie Griffin back there watching over us. Got my old school from the 1980s, I think this is, Ohio State Buckeye with the buck nut on there. So, or the Buckeye, whatever. So, yeah, I'm gonna go through. I've never done this before, but this was supposed to be, film breakdowns. But I could be breaking down this Texas film forever, and I might be doing more with Sarkisian versus Knoll in the offseason. That was an incredible matchup. No one's really talking about. It really was. But for now, we got a game in a few hours here. So I'm gonna actually look at my notes, go through it with you guys, and kind of show you what I think heading into this game, and I think it's going to be tough for Notre Dame. That's it. And my feeling is this may not be the best game you ever see. It may be sort of a dud in a sort of way, but it could be relatively close. But, it's going to take a lot of things to go wrong for Ohio State. Could happen. Notre Dame was my surprise pick at the beginning of the year. One of my two guys' teams could be surprised. I just don't think where we are right now in this time and space, that's happening. But let's take a look at my notes. Going to run through them all from the whole game film, and maybe I'll throw up another film real quick, but I might just do that in the off season. A lot of it could be explained more than actually shown by film, to be honest. It was, a lot of what I've explained in the first couple the videos I've done already kind of tell the story. There was more Sark and Knowles back and forth, and the Ohio State offense let down some, both in the schematics and play calling. And also the team, Will Howard even, who looked so good in the first quarter, he was making some bad decisions. And then like Chip Kelly and Ryan Day got funky there for a bit. But we did what we had to do. It's not going to be easy against Al Golden. He might be, Dan Lanning to me is a real defensive mind. I like him better than Golden. Golden's right there with Kwiatkowski. They're both really good. And Golden is a little more aggressive, which could burn him too. So we may get more explosives, but it may be a tough to score. It may be like the Texas game a little bit, but the talent does lie with Texas more. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, Notre Dame's a good team. Texas had a lot of talent. Ohio State has a little more. But they beat Georgia, and Georgia has a load of talent, no matter what everybody says. But that Georgia team was banged up, and they've been kind of off all year a little bit. So not taken away from Notre Dame. I'm not surprised they even did this, and I won't be totally shocked if they win, but I don't see it today. But let's take a look at what the notes I have, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see what happens tonight.
So again, we saw a lot of this on film already, the first three drives. But again, Kwiatkowski was doing a lot of almost old school zone. Wasn't quite that country style, but it was matchup zone, which isn't the same as zone match or man match. So it was guys were kind of staying in their zone areas. And I think at first, Ohio State, I don't know if they expected it or not, but they did adjust quickly. We're hitting a lot of West Coast offense routes. The first three drives had a lot of this, and it had a lot more power spread sprinkled in than I realized until I studied the film. I thought it was mainly just West Coast offense, but there was a lot of little power spread misdirections and flood routes and all different kind of stuff using one side of the field. And then they would sprinkle in some runs. So it was excellent. The game plan or the quick adjustment, whichever one it was, worked great against what Kwiatkowski was throwing at them. And Will looked really good in the West Coast, in the pro style. And they went down the field, got a touchdown, actually on a run when there was most of the time, whatever linebackers or guys were up on the line, the lead line, they had run eyes. But the one time they didn't, like on second downs, they weren't expecting it, but definitely on first. So we mixed that up as well. So just good job by Chip and whatever Ryan Day's influence was on that. And Will handled it really well and executed. But then after that Henderson penalty during the second drive, when Trey punched the guy in the face mask, Will suddenly made a real bad decision on a read option. We had the run. We had it. It was a good call for a run, second and long or first and long, whatever it was. And then on the next drive, on the third drive, we were still mixing it up at that point with the power spread and the different route designs in the West Coast offense. Will had guys open that whole third drive and just missed them. Didn't see them. Didn't read it right. But again, Kwiatkowski, starting with the second drive, suddenly the first drive was a lot more two high safeties. Then he was mixing in the one high safety and with the 1 and the 3 cover, and then the blitz. So Kwiatkowski started mixing on the second and third drive, and I think it had Will a little bit confused. So again, look for Golden to be doing this tonight. On the fourth drive, it was almost like Kelly and / Day, Ryan Day, whoever it was, they started to say, hey, look, we're shutting it down. And they went 2 runs in a row on first and second downs. That looked like the old style we were doing this year. And again, Texas had a really strong defensive line. And by the way, so did Oregon, and so did Tennessee. And by the way, Notre Dame does as well. But they've been banged up. They're missing their guy Mills, and their other great guy Cross has been banged up. So they have some bang up. So, I'm not sure their D-line is going to be quite as strong as the ones we faced, but it's pretty strong too. Either way, Ohio State has a backup offensive line right now, a couple backups in, and they're using a lot of guys, and they're doing decent. They're doing okay, but it's still not the original starters. I do not think. I love what Luke Montgomery's been doing. If you want me to break it down, Sirivold, our starter at right guard's decent, but Sirivold comes in. I get a little questions with him. Donovan Jackson's done good at tackle, but Josh Fryer still gets burned. It's not the best line in football. It's decent, but I don't think we can just line up, run on first and second down, go with the tendency that everyone's expecting. We have to keep breaking tendency against. This is another, even though there's some injuries, it's another strong D line. So if we start just running on first and second down, it's going to be a problem. We came out in the 5th drive, and again, we went with a run, but then we did go back to the West Coast offense, pass design on the second down, and they threw another surprise blitz, and Barron, their best cornerback, almost had a pick 6. He came up hard. It was a cover 2, and he came up hard on it. And on third down, again, Ibuka was wide open versus another blitz and a cover 6 behind it. Cover 3 behind it, but they blitzed 6. Kwiatkowski came with a 6-man blitz. He doesn't do that a lot, but he had a cover 3 behind it, and Ibuka was wide open down the middle, and Will missed, didn't see him. He was hung up on JJ. Okay, so again, this mix is confusing Will, and on some of the blitzes, confusing the O-line. So again, don't expect just pure man-to-man and press. I think Golden's going to mix this stuff today. And then finally, at the halftime, on offense with this, we had that screen pass. Again, a lot of that was that deep, big time deep zone, Tampa 2 look, cover 2 look, cover 3, Kwiatkowski going back in these deep zones. I don't think you're seeing that from Golden today. So he's going to mix it like Kwiatkowski did, but I think there's more pressure in the front end. Now, we can burn that, but don't expect us to burn it on a screen pass like that. It's going to be more on a deep shot, okay? But overall, also don't expect Golden to just go pure man-to-man. Now, the Sark versus Knowles matchup was just absolutely insane. And that's only the first half, right? But I'll get to the second half in a minute. But I want to show a little bit of film here, because this Sark thing, so right off the bat, Sark had a cool game plan and schemes, but literally, and I showed you guys some of this on film, every single defensive scheme was different by Knowles. Every down. Every coverage. And then on that 4th down, he did his first blitz and had an offset cover 3 to the sideline. And then it was tight match, and Simon, shut down that quick game pass. Cody, the linebacker Simon. So you come in on the second. I don't have it marked there. Whoops. But then the second series, we start doing more 1-man or off-man. Some of it I was calling a 3 match, but I was a little. He was confusing me. Knowles was even confusing me. Some of it wasn't 3; it was actually a man. But just off-man. So, again, he was mixing in more blitzes, throwing in a Tampa 2. Then he did a cover 5, and that one was a nice little bubble screen by Sark, or a tunnel screen. Almost got the touchdown on that. So Knowles is doing great stuff. Sark was doing. I'd like to maybe look at this more in the offseason. This was an incredible matchup. Then Sark, but Downs saved a touchdown on that. Sark goes to 2 running back sets. He starts doing massive trips wide and then motioning that stuff. But Knowles, on that 3rd down play, moved from a 1-man into a match 1, and Ewers was absolutely confused and got sacked. Okay, and we saw this again in the 3rd series. We got a run blitz with Ransom coming heavy on the blitz. Then a nice little package play where you fake a screen and throw it down the field by Sark. But Knowles moves from a cover 3 into a 3 match. And And what do I mean by that? Cover 3 is when you usually have a safety deep and 2 cornerbacks on each side covering the third. He put one of the cornerbacks down, moved 2 safeties over, and it was 2 safeties playing in the 3 match, and he made it more an aggressive 3 match. It was a face mask penalty on wide receiver Golden, so now they had long, and then they had to do check downs against cover 3, and then on the last play, 6 DBs, a cover 3 look that moved into a 2 match, and Iggy and Sonny on the blitz. Actually, Ewers fumbled on that, and it could have been a disaster, but the Texas recovered it, okay? And then on the 4th series, 2 runs by Sark right away, which was brilliant because we were looking for the pass on that. I didn't show you guys that, but we had pass eyes. And then we had a cover 3 with Burke on the blitz. And Helm was actually open, the tight end, but Ewers is just too casual sometimes of these blitzes. He threw it kind of late and high, and Sonny just belted him. So then we go from a Tampa 2 look into a one-man blitz. I mean, this is wild stuff by Knowles, man. You can look at my writing, how crazy it looks. And then on 3rd down, we had the 3-2 look again with 6 DBs, and we went into a cover 7 inverted. And I need to show you that on film with a spy on top of it. And they had a little wheel route down the sideline, but I think we're going to see more of that against Notre Dame. And then we come out with Tampa 2, cover 2, a lot of it, all post-snap shifts. But Sark was doing his shifts, his screens, his play action, his RPOs. They were moving the ball a bit, but then he did an unbalanced set, a mesh, a really cool-looking mesh with 4 eligibles to one side, and the guy dropped the ball, and that ended that drive. So they were actually moving the ball there. And again, I want to show that a little bit on film here. And then to finish out the half, on the 6th drive is when they got the touchdown finally. And that could have been stopped as well by us. But then again, that 5th drive could have been keep that drive alive if that guy didn't drop the ball. So again, we're coming with blitzes, and then Sark does this little flip play action, shot play. He kind of fakes the flip, the little pitch, and wanted to do a shot, but we backed into a cover 3 off the blitz. It's just, that happens, but we're mixing so much, confusing the heck out of everyone. I'm probably confusing the heck out of you guys right now. 3rd and 10, again, that 6 DB, 6 cover 2 look, we may see a little of that. I don't know. You got a dime and a dime blitz, that's Lorenzo Styles, and Simon on a zone blitz because we only had 3 linemen and Sawyer dropped off. So 2 of the linemen rushed. 2 more guys came on a blitz. It's only a 4-man rush. Ewers has no idea what's going on, but he actually runs for a 1st down. That's the one time we played a little bit of a backing off into a matchup zone, okay? And then on 4th and inch, he didn't get the 1st. I'm sorry, he was 4th and inches, and that's when they moved Helm, the tight end, over as a QB, and they snapped it through his legs to Manning. I mean, Sark wins this drive. I mean, he had to pull out all the stops to even try to keep up with Knowles. And this is before, the goal line ended at the goal line stand at the end anyway. But I'm just saying before all that. And then we come into this one match with a big blitz, and Burke had his guy Bolden, who's a tricky guy to tackle, but he totally screwed the tackle up. So we had a big run by Ewers, a big missed tackle by Burke, and then he went out of the game. And I'm not sure he was in the game again after that. Maybe they've had enough of some of his mistakes, but geez, I think Burke's been good a lot this year. Okay, whatever. Matthews is a heck of a guy too, so that's who we had playing for him. Then once we had that set up in the red zone, they did a throwback, but Kenyatta Jackson blocked it. That was a cool play. And then against match 1, we did a little wheel route on Sonny, and Sonny matched up, but there was no way he was keeping up with that running back. Touchdown. This is great stuff by Sark. Again, I'd like to cover more of this. I'm going to show a little bit of this film. Even the last, with no time left after that big screen pass touchdown, Sark pulls out a run that gains a bunch of yards, and then he throws a corner pass. These were just little perfect calls to set up a Hail Mary, but there was not enough time. They did a Hail Mary, and we knocked it down. But, it was excellent stuff by Sark, just master stuff by Knowles. It was great all the way around. I don't see Notre Dame there's no way Denbrock's going to pull this kind of stuff against Knowles. So, good luck. Okay, so this looks very similar to the red zone defense. That cover 11 I talked about, but instead of a 7 1/4, I think it's just a 7. We have Sonny on the running back here. and we have Simon as a spy with a 3-man line, 2 linebackers, 6 DBs, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now check this out. Running back goes in motion because it's Sark, so he has crazy stuff goes on. Running back into pause motion. He loves this pause motion. Run back, stop, and go, okay? What does Sonny do? He passes it off to Simon. Now, Sonny's the spy, and Simon has the running back, and there you go, okay? Now, Sonny goes down on him hard on that running back, okay? But it turns into almost a cover 7 because, look, we've got 3 over 2 on this side because of it. But maybe it really is that 11 where you got the quarters over here. But I don't see this as a quarters more. You know, I don't, that is not quarters. That's really, and why do you, and you may say to me, well, why do you call it 7? Again, it looks like cover 2. And by the way, we have both cornerbacks moving back into the 2. That's like an inverted cover 7. Or inverted 2, whatever. But they're back as deep safeties all of a sudden, okay? But they're not real deep. It's not a real deep safety kind of coverage, cover 7. It's a 7-man shell, not a 2 shell. So you got these guys sort of watching, and even if they come in here on a hook or crosser, they'll take that, almost like quarters. You got this guy over here. It forms like a triangle on the, a diamond effect. There's the diamond guy I talk about in my goal line. Check out the video I made on the goal line with cover 11. This guy, Downs, is playing that inside leverage diamond guy. See? Right here. So you got this diamond forming as Simon's taking him hard, though Simon has him man. So it's a little tricky to say just cover 7, but it's kind of a cover 7 concept. And over here, we got 3 over 2. Okay, same old thing. We got an inside leverage guy here. This would actually, you want to say was more the quarters, but it's really not. You got your safety here who's a cornerback. So that's crazy. A cornerback here who's a safety. So look at this. And then Sonny's the spy, but he's coming over to help because yours isn't doing anything. So again, cool scheme by Sark. Motion, pause, boom. Go to the other side. So 3 on the other side instead over here. Now everybody has to switch over. Sonny, Downs. He's now going to play the 4 over 3 over here. He grabs this guy on the leverage here. So, you know, I don't know if you call it, but I think we're going to see more of this because when he sees stuff is working, whether you call it a cover 11, cover 7, however you want to say all this, at the red zone, it's a little different. It's more condensed. But I think we're going to see this on bigger passing downs and at red zone against. And I'm telling you, if yours and Sark are having trouble, definitely Notre Dame's guys are going to be having trouble here. Okay? And then we go to the next series and look at the massive shift. Look at the massive 3-man, 5-man, 4-man shifts. They had everybody on one side of the field. All the eligibles, 5 eligibles. Now they all shift over. Now it's 2 by 3. All right, we're just playing a 2 match, but what's this set up? A little tunnel screen again. It's great stuff by Sark. There he goes. Now he went the wrong way. Zach Smith, Minister Sports, check it out. He breaks all the plays down. He said this shit's supposed to go up in here, and he's right. But still, so the guy runs the wrong way. Okay? But what a play by Sark. And I just loved, look at this. Look at this 5 eligibles to one side. We set change it quick. The Newt Rockne shift, and boom. And I don't think we'll be seeing those Newt Rockne shifts from Notre Dame, even though it's Notre Dame, unless Newt Rockne comes back to life. So now, look at Sark here. Little motion out here. That's West Coast offense style, no big deal. But look at this, a little pitch. But I'm going to tell you what. That's a play action. Watch yours. Number 3. Watch number 3. I'm going to pass it. No, I'm going to flip it. It's like a fake, whatever, maybe a fake run too. But just a little cool flip. Again, I'm not, maybe in the offseason I'll break this down even more, but I'm just racing through stuff right now. Cool stuff. And now here's a 3rd down play, big play. Guy way out wide, comes in motion to do a mesh. This is a really cool way to get into a mesh. Boom, look, that's the same guy who was way on the sideline doing a little mesh. The mesh isn't open because look how we have those. We like, Knowles really likes to shut down the meshes. But then it's easy to find this guy open. And he drops the ball. I think it's Bond. Again, it was man-to-man coverage. Hancock. But just, a little mesh with 2 digs, the dig concept behind it. Just and out of an incredibly spread formation going into a condensed. This is stuff Sark was doing. And then here we go. This is, really, once that drop passed, Ohio State really should have had the shutout for the first half. Look at this 3-2, again, 6 DBs, and we bring the dime back and the linebacker. There's the dime back, Lorenzo Styles, on a blitz. and we just dropped pretty deep. This was the deepest drop we had in the whole first half. A little bit like a matchup zone, like Kwiatkowski was doing. And that enabled Quinn. That was a good job by him. And then we come with this. I mean, just got to show this play. This is fun. I don't even have to say anything. Gunner helm in motion, goes under center, snap it through its legs, and to the Manning boy, who takes off and runs. I mean, this is just, Sark is so creative and fun. And then here we go. This is that big play that Burke missed a tackle. But again, a really wide guy. This is like a combination of pro and power spread. I mean, there's the spread, but there's the pro set. It's got both going on. Sark is really making some cool stuff up again. And then, you know, they want a shot to Moore, but you know what? They check it down. That's fine. We bring a big blitz. And obviously, Burke, there's nothing wrong with the scheme. He just needs to make a tackle there. And that turned into a nightmare. And then we come down, and then right off the bat, Sark doesn't stop. We're in the red zone, little play action. Everybody's to one side, going to be throwback screen, you know? And good block by Kenyatta. Right. Boom, throwback up. He's got it. Okay, so come back, Sark, one more time. Look at this. We got guys over here, right? Well, we're going to look for this, right? No, the wheel route. One match. We're starting to get a little too aggressive. That's why you had to mix it against Sark. I'm telling you, against Notre Dame, we can do this kind of stuff and get away with it all day. Against Sark, you can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So look at this little wheel route on Sonny. Touchdown. Boom. Great pass. Yours is a much better passer than Riley Leonard, though Riley Leonard has some good legs and good moxie himself. So again, we did this against the great genius of Sark and the talent of Texas. Okay, like I got to say it again. Good luck, Notre Dame. So I have Ohio State starting on offense, and here's where I was really complaining about no tempo. Well, definitely we didn't do enough tempo, but I also thought the play calls were so getting conservative. But really now, upon further review, it got a little conservative in the first half, and that's it. I mean, right off the bat, hard play action, roll left, Ibuka, wide open, and I mean that's a cool play to start out right out of the half. And I thought our guys were fired up to start, and that was a nice play to start. So a big first down right out of the gate, and then 2 RPO runs against Texas, who was finally backing out of the box. Because remember, they played a deep zone, but they would also keep their guys with run eyes in the box. Now it was like, so this was like not bad calls here to start. And then we did a play action, max pass pro, and against a cover 3, and this is that big interception by Will. So this coming out of the gate, you can't blame Chip or Ryan for this. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was a nice little mix. Again, no tempo, but we were mixing some stuff, some play calls. And again, it was a stare down to JJ. So like trying to force it to JJ, and we cannot do this against Notre Dame. If they don't want to give up JJ, if they're bracketing or just playing a lot of deep zone, but there's guys open underneath, Will had guy. I think he had a Ibuka on that. But either way, it didn't matter. I think it was Tate maybe. It doesn't matter. Either way, you don't throw that. And there was a little bit of a rush on him, but it was just a bad play by Will. So again, Will was fantastic to start, but a little bit of mix by Kwiatkowski got him there. So then we on defense, again, Sark's still pulling out all this stuff. Motion to 4 eligibles and a little running back screen. When I say 4 eligibles, I mean 4 eligibles to one side of the field. So he was really doing like those, unbalanced sets that Chip actually usually does more of. He didn't do as many this game for Ohio State. But anyways, then this was cool, a play action on a screen. Like he looked over like he was doing a screen pass, and then he handed it on a draw. Again, I ought to show some more of this film in the offseason. Then an RPO run, but then, and they were getting first downs, and then all of a sudden Ohio State, who was sitting out of the box, started crashing the box. And again, some people out there and putting out the narrative that we were in the box. We weren't in the box. We crashed the box, and it's different. And that was totally fooling Sark after that. So Sark had Knowles in the beginning of this drive, and then Knowles came back. Then on the third down, we flew back into a Tampa 5 look. I mean, not a look, but the actual scheme. Tampa 5, the D-line got some push. Ewers had to check it down, and they had to punt. So again, this cat and mouse went on all game with these two guys, Sark and Knowles. And then on offense, this is where I saw the letdown. This is really, I thought we were really letting down. I was sort of expecting this to happen maybe in this game. And against Texas, that was scary. I know it could still happen against Notre Dame. Everybody's tired, but Notre Dame's tired too. It's been a long year. we may not get and on the refs let down too. If you go down here, I start yelling about the refs. They were really bad holding. I don't usually complain about refs. I don't like to talk about it, and I'm not going to say anymore. But they were making a lot of bad calls. So maybe the whole damn college football is letting down. This may be again a sloppier game than we want. Whatever. But I can't imagine the last game of the year, the national championship, that these guys, they're going to be fired up to start for sure, and then we'll see if letdowns come in. But anyway, in this second series, kind of cool schemes. The two running back schemes I always like. Ibuka had the handoff, but Kwiatkowski showed a 1, and they were crashing down. So Kwiatkowski getting a little more aggressive, and he'll get burned for it later, but he had to mix it. He couldn't just sit way back in deep zone. And then he did go jump into a Tampa 2 look, and we had to check it down. But on that running back run by Ibuka, there was a good scheme, but not good blocking again, especially on the perimeter. Then on the 3rd and 1, this was a little bit of a questionable call, but honestly, we should have had it. The O-line was all confused on the pitch play, like mentally letting down. Just what were they doing? We really could have had that play. So again, let's jump back to the defense, and we're letting down there too. We had a real bad penalty. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is on yours, actually. There was a bad penalty, another offsides or something by Texas or some. Then a bad pass by yours. And on 3rd and 11, we did a robber. We had a robber come down. I love it. We haven't been seeing much of that. It's like the opposite of Tampa 2. He comes down into the hole. And we had a big blitz, and yours somehow escaped and slipped it off to the running back. Got lucky on that. But then Knowles throws a cover 6 out of nowhere. Hasn't been doing much of that. And Matthews was on it. Matthews is still in the game for Burke. So Burke was benched. Incredible. And then we had a one-man blitz, bubble screen, a nice little call by Sark, but great tackles by Downs and Matthews. Matthews playing really strong. I'm thinking that's who we're going to see this game. I think he's going to start. I don't know. 3rd and 3, fake RPO and against a light box. And that worked. So we got Texas got the first there. Then they started doing a little tempo. Now they didn't do enough tempo in my opinion, but Ohio State did none. But again, I'm wondering if that's because Day's all nervous about too many plays. Everybody's tired. Anyways, but Knowles another blitz and another Tampa 2, then a check down, and then a 3rd and 3, a fake RPO, and they got the first again. But then on a 3rd and then Ohio State started crashing the box again after pulling out of it. And then 3rd and 7, big blitz, and he was burned on the running back wheel. That running back wheel that they did in the first half for a touchdown. And Sark got Knowles. So he started to get Knowles got him back. He started to get Knowles back again. Then Sark nails him again. Again, this will be better on film. I'm out of time, maybe in the offseason. So Ohio State now, tie game, right? They went back to the West Coast offense like they started the game with the passing game. And they had a big completion. And then Saravold, the guard, comes running down with a late hit. So again, dude, I can't blame this on Kelly and Day on their offense. Then Montgomery was smashed by Broughton, the tough defensive tackle for Texas. We're going to see some tough D-line against Notre Dame. And then we had an RPO give, but Real needed to throw the ball. They were crashing the box, and they faked them out, kind of like Knowles was doing. Kwiatkowski crashed the box. So again, and Will screwed that up. So he needed to pass it. But anyway, Kwiatkowski's mixing, doing a good job on his game plan, but we are having a letdown. And when you have a letdown with players like this, tempo can really help that. Get them moving, get those legs, the brains, get it working. I believe not tempo all the time, but there's times when you just got to go tempo, and just we wouldn't do it. And then again, thankfully, Texas didn't get on a roll and score again. Again, they were doing those fake RPO gives more in the second half. I liked it. They were doing real RPOs, then the fake RPOs that were 100% runs. And we were pounding away. But on 2nd 3, Sark went away from that in the drive. And he expected us to crash down. And we were out of the box. He expected to crash down. We didn't do it. We didn't give it to him. 3rd and 3, and then we went into that invert 7 again. And we simmed it, Sims pressure. We looked like we were going to blitz. We pulled out of it, went into the cover 7 on an invert. And Sark just, in my opinion, he sort of overthought this. But that's Knowles. Knowles got in his head. I mean, really, oh my God, I keep saying it again and again. These two masterminds, but whatever. Okay, a lot of people missed it, whatever. Then we go to the 4th drive, and this is where Ohio State scored. And here's where they finally did a play action and a deep shot. And Kwiatkowski's getting a little more aggressive with cover one man, one match, and now quarters. And so now we finally burned him. We had to do this. And good job by Chip. Then some more letdown on us. There was a missed block by Innes on a pass, a quick, that would have been good. And then a quick game pass by Will, which was really bad. But finally a big pass in the corner to Tate out of a bunch set. Real like cool West Coast offense kind of style there. And then we had max pass pro on that 6-man protection versus a blitz. So again, Kwiatkowski was getting a little more aggressive. He needed to kind of do this, and this is what we need to do against Notre Dame. We got to hit these passes, the quick games. We got to block on the perimeter for the RPOs. We got to do all this stuff. But really, nothing wrong with play calling. I'd say a little bit in that second quarter, and that was it. And then no tempo really bothered me. But anyway, another deep shot in a corner route to Ibuka, but unfortunately Tate was wide open on the sideline and Will missed him. But then we did a nice swing pass out to Judkins, mixing it up again, a lot of variety. RPO, and Will threw a strike to Tate, and they didn't call pass interference. That's when I finally had it and said how bad these refs have been. And then, but on 3rd down and long, we got this little out pass or crosser to Scott, and he busted his butt up there to get to the 2 yards, 4th and 2, and then that's the Will trap, the QB trap. 5 eligibles to the wide side. 5 eligibles. There you go. There's Chip Kelly trying to match Sark. 5 eligibles, did the Will trap, huge play. Could have been a touchdown, but we actually ate more clock doing it this way. We had a great fake off a speed option, fly reverse to Ibuka. Again, 4 eligibles, this time 4 eligibles to one side. And it was a little fake speed option to Henderson and a little reverse to Ibuka off this. Just, again, I have to show it on film sometime. It's freaking good stuff by Chip. And then a wind back, and this one JJ was in motion, like a swing pass, and we did a wind back zone power off of that. Then a QB power with Will, and then finally a guard fullback counter, G scheme kind of thing. Power again, power. Power from the zone, power from the counters, power from the QB, all off of little movements and motions that look like we could be passing it. So yeah, in the end of the day, Kelly and Day are still doing some really good stuff. After that, they just ran out the clock. That was after the big Jack Sawyer touchdown. So again, we had letdown. Let's see if that happens here. And then the no tempo. I don't like that. This is the last game of the year. Come on, let's just go for it, man. Come on. But they're judging how tired their guys are. So I don't think they want the extra plays. So we may not see tempo again. But still, game plan good. Schemes good. Got a little conservative in the play calling for a minute in the second quarter, but that was it. And now back to the defense. That goal line drive. Again, Sark and Knowles. Well, Sark overthought it on the last drive. Here we go. Goal line drive. Quick game. Bam. Hit a pass. RPO stretch give, first down. Our defense was looking tired. Everybody's looking tired right now. This was a dogfight. And then a great play action Will to Helm, the tight end that Down screwed up. I already filmed that earlier. You can see that. Go back in my film vids. I got that on film. And then the Max Pass Pro smash route. It was supposed to be a cover 2 or a rotated cover 2. Ransom lost his mental a little bit. He looked like he was trying to do 3. The guy was wide open. And then we had the fake RPO run up the gut, and JTT made a good job from this DN. JTT came on big at the end of this goal line of this drive. And then with a little more quick game out in the flat, got a little bit. And then we had 4 eligibles to the wide side and a crosser back to the boundary. Great route design by Sark, and we got to pass it interference. Ransom on a quarters look had to grab the guy. He had to grab him. Sark did it again. And then the RPO quick in to the other side on the next play and another pass interference. Again, we were burned. Sark was getting his, and then the goal line stand. Big people, cover 11, but one with a box 11. Just when Sark was finally looked like maybe he was going to get one up on Knowles, and Knowles comes back again. What a matchup. I know I'm saying we got Knowles versus Al Golden in this one, but I'm sorry, Al Golden's good, but he's not the guy like Sark. I mean, that's all I got to say. This was a matchup of the year. It really was. This or the Stein and Knowles in the first Oregon game. That was amazing, too, and Stein got the better there. Anyway, Knowles got a little over crazy on the coverage aggression. All right, last drive after the big touchdown. Quinn was shook up. He had a cover 2. We went really kind of conservative in that last drive. Why not? Up at two touchdowns. Guy was wide open in the middle, but Quinn didn't even see it. Then we shifted to a cover 3, and Quinn just ran around like a maniac in a scramble drill. And then finally at Tampa 5. And again, look at him mixing all this up. Look at Knowles mixing this up on the last drive, up 2 touchdowns. And then he throws the interception as Downs came down in his hole. He was in the hole in the Tampa 5. So again, anything Sark did wrong, not much, but maybe, how did Knowles get him? Maybe, get more tempo. They were definitely better when they were doing tempo, but at least he did some tempo. On that touchdown drive, there was tempo, and he did more than Ohio State did. But the one thing I was really surprised is not more quick game. No, and I know that's not his thing. That's more Oregon's thing in Stein. But I'm surprised we didn't see that. I'm not talking screens. I'm not talking art. We saw plenty of RPOs, plenty of screens, even fake RPOs and hard runs. But where was that quick game stuff, like to combat some of this? Surprised by that a little bit. But, Knowles gets in your head, and especially on the goal line, some of that. But in the end, everybody was tired. Massive battle between Sark and Knowles here that went underrated, and no one's even talking about. And then just tired players who fought their asses off at the end. Both sides, an incredible ending for Ohio State.
And there you have it, man. You can see it's dark now, about an hour away from the game. And I'm going to try to edit, pop this all on video, and no one's going to look at it till after the game. But yeah, okay, we're on to Notre Dame now, but Sark and Knowles, what a battle that I'm going to talk about in the off season. And then as far as this game coming up, all the thing I can worry about is Ohio State having letdown in such a long season and such an incredible run. Could they finally let down? But what about Notre Dame? I mean, they've had a lot too. So if there's letdowns, it's going to be on both sides, just like it was in the Texas game. They both were letting down. I don't see a total crash out. Ohio State, this is it, man. This is it. This is their shot. I think they had it against Texas. Now they're going to be back strong. Knowles, with his unbelievable stuff, I think Notre Dame's going to need an explosive or two, or a couple of them, and it's going to have to be like Jeremiah Love's at running back's going to have an explosive. Matriculating the ball down the field and their little RPOs and with Riley Leonard's legs and some passing and some power game. Denbrock doesn't bring that to the table. He's good, but he is no Sark. So you saw, Sark would do amazing stuff and Knowles would up it. Then Sark would come back and up it. Then Knowles would up it again. We're not going to have this with Denbrock. I'm telling you, if Denbrock is able to keep with Knowles, I'll be shocked. So what's that going to mean? Well, the players are going to have to do some amazing things. And even if they do one thing here, two things here, what if we get some interceptions and stuff? God forbid for Notre Dame. So maybe they can somehow get enough explosives and get to 20-something. They might have to get to 20-something. If they don't, then it's about Al Golden. And what can Notre Dame's defense do to Ohio State? And, now that I've looked at the film thoroughly a couple times now, I'm good with Chip Kelly's play calling most of the time, and the West Coast offense. Will's getting better in it, though he still sometimes screws up and stuff. More than anything, the players sort of let down in that game some, and Kwiatkowski was good, had a real good game plan. So Al Golden could have a real good game plan, but we could have easily had more points. Really could have had more points, and that could happen here. And the best shot Notre Dame has, I think, is somehow Al Golden, an interception or two, some blitz pressures, fumbles, some stuff goes down like that. We're having a letdown. Chips and Ryan get conservative because they're freaked out. Maybe something like that. Again, if we're letting down, tempo, guys. This is it. Do or die. Get some tempo. But we'll see. I think Ryan Day is very nervous about all the plays. The tempo makes a lot of extra plays. And I don't know if he wants that. So in his best mind, he doesn't have to do tempo, and we just win handedly, and that's it. But if he has to, maybe we'll go tempo. But either way, there's so many things that Notre Dame will have to go right to even keep it close and then win. But one thing, if it is close, and I send this all year long, and this is the one thing that really bugs me, I hope to God I'm jinxing the hell out of this, special teams. I love Jay Fielding's attitude. He's a good kid. He's got a quirky technique, and he doesn't have a big leg. And then our punter, I didn't think anything of this guy, but he's been pretty solid. Good. We have a ton of talent on return, but we don't do returns. There's all these fair catches and stuff. And they try to keep the ball away from us anyway. And then our coverage units are good. But, surprise punt blocks, things like that. The Notre Dame special teams coordinator, and doggone it, I don't remember his name right now. He is fantastic. So Notre Dame could do some crazy stuff on special teams. So if there's one way I really think Notre Dame can win it, either some crazy letdown by Ohio State, but I don't think we're getting it, then it's special teams. But it's a lot. It's like this much stuff could go right for Ohio State, and I mean, there's so much that has to go right for Notre Dame, and Ohio State just has to be solid, you know. So you got to pick Ohio State in this, you know. You've got to. But let's see what happens, man. They got to play the game. Everybody's expecting a great game. There might be some disappointment to that, but let's see. And I hope Ohio State's come this far that I hope to God I'm so wrong about special teams and we don't even have to think about it. Or God forbid, fielding makes a kick and wins it. How about that? Could that happen? Yeah, anything can happen. I hope I am wrong about that. I just hope special teams don't really have to come into the picture. I hope we don't need those teams to be special. Then it's Ohio State.